Wow! After a morning speaking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, now Mitchell Robinson's name is coming up in trade reports. And it's not because the Knicks don't want him, it's because of the second apron, which could push the Knicks to make a trade they don't want to make. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. This episode is presented by FanDuel. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new content. And now, let's get started. Knicks trade plans for Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks trade reports just won't stop. This entire morning has been filled with Giannis to the Knicks trade reports. But if you looked hard enough, you saw something else. You saw another report among all of the others. And that's a move involving the Knicks being forced to trade Mitchell Robinson. While Mitchell Robinson has shown to be a pillar to the team, he's been surrounded by trade rumors for the past handful of seasons. The Knicks could pull the trigger on a trade for him this year. And ESPN NBA insider Bobby Marks said that Mitchell Robinson is once a game to look out for on the trading block. Here's what Bobby Marks had to say exactly. One player to watch is Mitchell Robinson. He has been extension eligible since July and without a new contract. Will be an unrestricted free agent next summer. If the Knicks keep the roster intact and re-sign Mitchell Robinson, New York is a projected second apron team next season. Robinson's $12.95 million salary for 2025-2026 may not be enough on its own to dip them below the second apron mark, but using it in some sort of package deal seems to be one of the more plausible moves Leon Rose and company could make. To Marks, it's something they absolutely must consider. And this is where we are. This is why the Knicks might have to be forced to move on from Mitchell Robinson. Again, not because they don't want Mitchell Robinson. They do. If it was up to them, they would probably want to keep Mitch on this team for his entire career. The problem is the dreaded second apron. No team wants to be in the second apron. And if New York resigns Mitchell Robinson and keeps every player they currently have on this team, they are going to be in the second apron. And honestly, I don't see Mitchell Robinson taking less. And if Mitch has a very good season this year, which by all accounts, he likely will because he's going to be a starter and likely going to play significant minutes. And if that's the case, he is going to want a payday. And the New York Knicks, unfortunately, may not be that team that can give him that payday. That means he might explore unrestricted free agency and go to another team. And New York doesn't want to see Mitchell Robinson walk for nothing. Can you imagine that? Having one of the best centers in the league when healthy, and then you let him walk because you do not extend him. At that point, the Knicks will be in a very tough situation. Do you trade Mitchell Robinson, re-sign him, let him walk? What are you going to do? If I know Leon Rose and company, if they cannot re-sign Mitchell Robinson, they are likely going to trade him. Now, I'm not saying they're only going to trade Mitchell Robinson. Maybe they're going to trade other players too. And maybe this all has something to do with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I would not put it past Leon Rose. After the bombshell report that we heard today from Shams, I am not putting anything past Leon Rose. Because besides me making a number of videos this offseason about the Knicks potentially trying to go after Giannis, nobody was talking about it. Nobody really even knew that the Knicks approached Milwaukee and were discussing a Giannis trade in August. However, the timing of things, the way the Knicks are moving, all the moves the Knicks have made over this offseason, it all makes sense if you're thinking about Giannis being the end goal. But either way, getting back to Mitchell Robinson, he is such a dominant force for New York The reason he's starting is because he's our defensive anchor. We need him, especially for rebounding. Once again, the Knicks don't want to give away Mitchell Robinson, and surely they don't want to trade him. However, they also don't want to be a second apron team. So that's why decisions have to be made. Which players are going to be kept part of this roster and which players, unfortunately, are going to have to be traded. Mitchell Robinson, at least according to NBA insider Bobby Marks, is a name to watch for a potential trade. New York may be forced to make this move because of the second apron. And the player they might get back, I don't even know who that player could be. They could potentially trade Robinson because they're being forced to get draft compensation and then at the end of the season, maybe look for another player that can replace Mitchell Robinson. This looks like the Knicks' plans for Mitchell Robinson moving forward. Not because they want to, because they're being forced to because of the NBA second apron. Shout out to channel sponsor FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, for giving us these updated odds and this latest information on who's going to win the Eastern Conference this season. And as you can see here, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are on top at plus 200. Then you have the New York Knicks right after them at plus 350. Then the Orlando Magic at plus 600. Then the Atlanta Hawks at plus 1,000. The Pistons at plus 1,100. And then rounding out this list at plus 1,300 is the Boston Celtics. And if you were wondering why, oh why, Boston is on this list, it's because Jason Tatum said recently he could potentially return by March. The reason these odds look the way they do, in large part, is due to Mitchell Robinson. Everybody around the league knows that Mitch is likely going to be the starter for this Knicks team. And that means New York's defense, it's going to be much better than it was last season, especially as a starting unit. And that means Karl Anthony Towns, he's not going to get taken advantage of that much on the defensive end, especially with the way Mike Brown is utilizing the rotations. He is playing Karl Anthony Towns for a few minutes at the center position. Then he is switching him back to the 4. And another player is playing the 5, whether that be Mitchell Robinson, Ariel Hukporti, or even Gerson Yabusele. Either way, New York seems to have a plan for that center position. And I am very hyped to see it. That's why during preseason, the only thing I was watching, well, one of the only things I was watching was how the lineups looked, how the rotations looked, how many rotations Mike Brown went with, how many players played, which, by the way, every single active and available player that Mike Brown had access to, that player played. I don't know how you cannot love that. Slowly but surely, I am becoming a very big fan of head coach Mike Brown because he's saying the right things, he's doing the right things, and he's using this roster in the right way, especially Mitchell Robinson. But even though Mitch is being used the right way now with this team, we still have to acknowledge it. We still have to face reality. He was supposed to get extended, and he was not extended. And now all we're looking at is potentially Robinson exploring unrestricted free agency. And I, for one, do not want to see that happen. So 2 things await the Knicks moving forward here. They're either going to be forced to trade Mitchell Robinson or they're going to extend him. But if they extend him, how much money are they going to give him? Because remember, even though they want to keep this team together, they want to do that without being a second apron team. So a lot of decisions, they're going to come to the forefront at the end of this season. And Leon Rose and company, they're going to have to make a decision. But as of right now, according to NBA insider Bobby Marks, a player to watch on the trade market is Mitchell Robinson. But what about you guys? What do you think about Bobby Marks mentioning Mitchell Robinson as a player to watch on the trade market this season? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.